So, who would like to go first?
I can go
Turn
first.
lights on. Okay.
Wait, speaking up the whole.
You just do.
Okay, that's it.
Fast.
I press F, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, F. Okay, let me see. The red one. Didn't turn in homework on time and got a lower grade. Take away one piece from the pillar of school. So I just grab the piece.
You can grab the piece from your tower and then grab the top piece. I tend to just then you put
And
it
just
on
put
your
it
stress pile.
right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we go to the left. So I guess I'll go. Finals week for IM students. You have a lot of projects due. Take away 2 pieces from the pillar of school. So, I'm gonna take 2. So yeah. I guess one thing, the first thing we should probably start talking about is how we kind of got around to the idea of making a sort of a game about stress. We had a few ideas, but I would say that the idea that kind of came up more.
Well, it's something we all go through, so.
Yeah, it's something we all go through. It's also kind of like what we all kind of first thought of as an idea. So we decided to go along with that. And I believe our first sort of ideas for this game was for it to be a card game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a card game, but then it was kind of simple. So we kind of went with something a little more complex.
Well, I think we decided to go with something that that sort of represented sort of balance itself, and we kind of talked around this idea of kind of Jenga blocks and how a tower is balanced came around, and so you can use the other one if you want. It's standing up.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
so we kind of thought of the idea of Jenga blocks and how it's sort of a more literal form of balance, something you can actually physically see. And after we decided that we wanted to actually go along with making a Jenga kind of style game, we started doing a little bit of research and learning kind of how people spend their time and what kind of what people wish they did with their time instead, and kind of how that all builds up on their lives. I think one thing I'll probably ask you guys is what do you think was one of the more surprising things from the kind of surveys we had?
So the most surprising thing when it came to the survey was how split it was between having a daily routine and not having a daily routine. It's basically 50-50. And so some like me, for example, I really don't have a daily routine because I just don't think about it that much. So I'm kind of leaning towards not having one. But it was just kind of surprising since I really don't think about it, but then so many people kind of need it, in order to get things done.
Yeah, and as we've been going through this process of making this game, I know me personally have definitely taken a bit more time to sort of structure my week out, and I have noticed a difference about how much less stress I feel, and I don't know if you're the same or if you thinking about trying it or not, but
Yeah, me too. This week, this past 2 weeks, I tried a different schedule. and I feel like a little bit stressed with everything.
We can continue on as we're talking as well.
All right.
I think it's your turn, Joshua.
Okay. Leap.
So we sort of started going and playing with this idea of, like towers and Jenga.
Yeah.
Originally, it was just like a tower. It was just like a basic tower like this over here, just like three
Mm.
wide, and that's kind of all it was. It wasn't too much. And then the cards just had you taking like one or two or three away. But as we sort of went and thought about it more, um, we realized that it wasn't necessarily, it didn't really simulate, like life and stress, and it didn't really convey the message that we wanted it to. And so, um, I think that's when we kind of decided to redo the cards a little bit and rework kind of how the tower works. And that's when it ended up kind of splitting into the four pillars, kind of like the four pillars of life, which kind of vary depending on like what is a part of your life. And for IM students, we thought, okay, I guess that's a loss there, my friend. I'm sorry. All right, it's just us two now. That's when we kind of split it up into four pillars, and for IM students, we thought of them having to balance their school life, work life, their sort of relationships within their life, and sort of themselves and what they do personally. And that's when we got to splitting this. But then we wanted to convey this idea of stress a bit more, and that's when we decided to make a board out of it and actually like have the pillars holding up the board, kind of like how these pillars or these things within these things hold up your life. And as you start to take away from each corner, life kind of becomes unbalanced and one side starts to weigh more than the other. Oh, did your stress pile fall?
No, it's getting close.
Yeah, it's real close. And so with this stress pile, having that on top is just to show that like the more you take away from these things in your life, the more pressure it's gonna put on you. And eventually, once that stress kind of like topples over, your life just becomes unbalanced and it becomes harder. And if that's like that's one of the losing conditions, is if your stress pile falls. And the other one being if you lose a pillar completely, you also lose. So you want to make sure that you do have that balance.
Okay.
And then another thing that we kind of have, has anybody gotten a yellow card yet? I don't think we have.
I haven't.
Let's see if we can try to get a yellow card.
Yeah,
Because
just pick some.
we did talk about this sort of idea of not everything in your life is gonna be stressful. There's parts in your life that
Okay, here's your yellow coin.
help you, that reduce your stress. And so we have these sort of support cards, um, where you can actually take pieces out of your stress pile so that it won't topple over and it doesn't have as much pressure on you. Um, you know, and then going through this, um, we've kind of like put this in, um, played with it a little bit to make sure that things are things seem like a bit fair, even though generally life isn't always fair. Um, the deck the deck itself is almost balanced. There's kind of the same amount of cards for each color besides yellow. Um,
I don't know how mine is still up, by the way. Oh. Okay. Pink one. Got it. Take 2 pieces away. Oh no. That's the one I don't want to get rid of. Oh.
yeah, so with the shuffling of the deck, things being random is just kind of like how life is, things will be random, and more will be taken away from maybe like one pillar than like another, like my work pillar is lower than like all the rest. Um, and it's just kind of to show that, you know, things are generally going to be imbalanced within life, but when you say you get like support cards, they're things to show that like there are parts of life that aren't as stressful and that actually like boost you up.
Oh god.
Um, so this game goes for um, till
The
one of the
last one
two,
stands, right?
till the well no till the it's not necessarily the last one standing, but it's more of like it goes for 15 turns, and if by the end of the 15 turns you still have like at least some parts of your pillars, 4 pillars remaining, and your stress pile hasn't toppled over, then you do win. Um, but if stress pile topples over, or you completely lose a pillar due to stress taking it away, or due to that becoming a stressful part of your life, then you do lose.
Okay, take one. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, this is really cutting it close.
Yeah, as you can see, we're kind of running low, and his tower falls over.
Great.
Yeah, so they're at this point, you guys are out. I can still keep going for
The
the last
remaining
few
turns.
rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last few rounds. But I guess just kind of, I guess we should just talk about, or kind of end this off with like, I guess a few thoughts about like kind of maybe things that you think could have been maybe done a little bit differently with the game, or if there's like an idea that like could be explored a little bit more. Things just like revision kind of notes.
I do feel like something you could have did a little bit better for the support cards and stuff, and better like I wanted to say maybe a little bit of better usage of the whole board, like I don't know, maybe finding ways to use the support cards in order to have different pieces on different parts of the board to maybe even it out just a little bit. I mean, yeah, other than that, I think everything's kind of fine.
Yeah, no, the cards are definitely something that um it definitely took a little bit of balancing to sort of find like what was good for like how much should be taken away and how much should kind of be kept. These towers not being like very tall, having cards take away like three at a time, this game can be over pretty fast, and you might not like make it to the 15. Even now, it's still a little bit difficult to make it to 15. Um, but if you make it to 15, your towers are there's still gonna be some of it standing, and they're gonna be balanced. Which is kind of the whole point of the simulation of the game is to show that there can still be balance even when at the end of like all the stress there can still be a little bit of balance left, even if it's like not necessarily like even. Any other thoughts?
And not from me. Nope. I think you said everything that needed to be said.
Yeah, no, like at first we thought the game was gonna be different, like you said, with this pile right here. But now that it's like completely like this, I think I like this like idea better than the one before.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of iteration on what exactly to do,
Hmm.
and to show like visually show a lot better feedback, with how with like taking away and kind of placing stuff like back on top of the other, and this sort of like platform that you need to balance is something that definitely sort of conveys that better.